So we got a full house today. Everyone project. The camera's kind of far away.
Oh, you ain't got to worry about that.
What Never have to.
We're good, baby.
Female nerds represent.
Woo! All right. So,
Black
it's just like a
nerds
setup for a
represent.
sitcom. There's only like one female per sitcom. It's kind of, or at least in the '90s in Big Bang Theory.
Yeah.
But anywho, so obviously we got our panel here. We got Grant, we got Matt, we got Sarah, we got Ron. Everyone here apparently really want to talk about Star Wars. So
I came from Monterey and we have to do this.
yeah, exactly. Sarah even came away from because you live the farthest away.
Yes.
All of us. So yeah, everyone really wants to talk about this. So yeah, obviously we're here to talk about Star Wars: The Force Awakens. Let's just give general thoughts first. Keep it short to the point, and then we'll go into the nitty gritty because I feel like I want to make sure everyone gets their point across. So.
Yeah, let's keep it structured and do some focused issues.
All right.
Let's do some general things and then let's focus on some issues.
Because we never go on tangents in this show. I'll go Grant, you first.
It was good. I mean, there was no way it could have lived up to the hype, but it was pretty solid. I mean, I had some issues where like things didn't feel like it was properly melded right, and it was basically a retread of A New Hope, but
Yeah.
Grant is on my wavelength.
think this way, it's the best remake of the year.
All right, Matt, you go.
Oh man, well actually what was it, for me it was I feel like it really lived up to my hype, I was just hyped for an awesome Star Wars movie, just sort of this really this cool fun space adventure, and I did notice a lot of parallels between, I noticed the parallels between this and A New Hope, and
Not even A New Hope, but all the movies.
yeah, there was a lot of a lot of very specific parallels, but I feel like they didn't really bother me as much. It kind of felt like it was reworking onto, sort of repeating itself, but in kind of a sort of almost a nostalgic kind of way. We've all been here before. Wow, this is it felt like I was 14 and watching the first Star Wars again. Yeah.
All right. Your time is up, Sarah.
Damn. I didn't get enough time.
Well, I'll just throw it out there. My expectations for this were pretty low. Because the last Star Wars movie I saw was Episode 3, and that dialogue still plagues my memory.
Well, that's because George Lucas wrote it.
Yeah.
Exactly. My expectations were pretty low. That said, it surpassed my expectations. It was a fun romp. I actually got some Return of the Jedi vibes from it. So I will give it this. It was fun. It was full of fan service, and I enjoyed myself.
Ron?
Okay, so I wrote a brief little thing on Facebook, and then I think I'll just repeat it here.
You have brief things on Facebook?
I
see every time your Facebook, there's a soliloquy.
So here's what happens on Facebook for me. I'm a good conversation starter. I say one thing, 10 people add something, I add another reply, it goes on for a week. That's how it happens. So what I put was that I enjoyed myself. There are definitely a couple of plot issues that I'm waiting to see resolved, but the reason why I'm waiting to see them resolved is because I'm invested again.
Yes.
And there is a lot of fan service involved, but I don't believe that there's anything wrong with that, because this is sort of like the inaugural voyage of a new kind of Star Wars series. We're no longer going to have to wait years and years and years to see what happens. They have a release schedule that is crazier than the Marvel phases. So for me, yeah, I like that it's a different Star Wars and that we get to move on, because I'm sick of the endless, pointless debates that happen over the 6. I'm glad that we can have new debates and we can see new things.
Hey man, Han shot first.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. You get no complaints from me
I was
there.
talking about dumb, pointless debates. Anyway,
That is a dumb, pointless debate, though.
Jar Jar sucks. And just
no one's going to disagree.
There's actually
Yeah, but see, I can take it deeper than that. Like there are many reasons why he sucks, and not just because of the voice, and not just because of the character.
there's actually a fan theory on the internet that's
The Jar Jar.
Darth
Jar Jar.
is a
theory.
Darth Sith Lord. Or
If that's the twist,
Well-
like who the fucking alien is.
Well, I mean, Palpatine's a senator from Naboo. He has access to the planet. I mean, if he's gonna groom somebody to fuck everything up in the Republic, kind of makes sense. Kind of.
Okay.
But yeah, that's my thought.
All right.
My general thoughts.
All right, my turn. All right. I think it's really good, but I wouldn't call it great. Like it's one of those things I think as soon as the movie came out, I saw like 5,000 fucking Facebook stats like this movie's amazing. It's the best Star Wars movie I watched. Like I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it's good.
I really liked it.
That's the national attention span right now. It has changed. Everything's the best until it's not.
I think that's
You
the
know?
general consensus.
Remember when everyone lost their...
Though that everybody is in agreement that it's good, not great, but it's good.
On general consensus I've
I
seen,
thought it was
it's
great, but
like
that's just me.
probably like
Contrarian.
Yeah.
probably like the third best of the series is like what I've heard. Because like honestly nothing's gonna top Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah.
No, I disagree. Episode 1, sir, is clearly the best.
Hey, there's
Get the fuck out.
hold up though. Here's what I don't want though. Okay, I'm of the mind that this is George Lucas's playground. Okay, there are pieces of every Star Wars movie that are great. Maybe the sum of their parts do not equal something great, but there's always something great. Without Episode 1, we would not have the greatest lightsaber fight of all time.
Very
Okay,
And
so-
the taxation.
Done.
Huh.
Done.
Yeah. That is the reason why I still say episode 1 is better than
done,
episode
done.
2.
The
Yeah.
last
Anything
half
is
of
better
the
than
last half of
episode 2.
Episode 1 was probably one of the greatest action sequences ever filmed for that time period.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, leading up to that time period. So yeah, I don't want to attack George. George gave us the plaything, and he owns the building. We're just paying rent. As far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
You
Oh,
know, respect where it's due.
he technically sold the property.
Well, he sold the rights for them to make the property. If there's no way on God's green earth you can make me believe he sold Star Wars to somebody. The ability to make films, he did sell his company Lucasfilm, but remember he still owns THX. He created the Pixar technology for Disney to even have Pixar computers, right? That was created by George Lucas. He strategically sells off these parts that he doesn't have to deal with, and I'm pretty sure the Star Wars merchandising rights and the name Star Wars and all the characters he wrote on that yellow pad still belong to him.
Probably. Yeah.
You know, I'm just gonna
Still
put that
set
out
for
there.
like 5 lifetimes. Very much.
Right.
From what
The only thing he wants to disassociate himself with is the Christmas special.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
And
the thing,
apparently
he's a-
the
that's
original movies.
From what I heard though, he actually did sell the rights though for Star Wars, just straight up.
Just straight up
Yeah.
sold them.
Yeah,
I'd have to do
they
some
belong.
research on that.
It belongs
Yeah.
to Disney.
I'd have to see about that. I just don't believe something that he created from the ground up. He just outright give it away. I think it would just be foolish. He's a smarter businessman.
Well,
than
he still might have like the merch, like some stake in merchandising. But
Well,
in terms of-
because
Yeah.
he created the merchandising arm of Star Wars. Nobody
Yeah.
wanted to do anything. He made these personal relationships with these companies like Kenner. You know, those
Is
kind
it-
of things. You know.
Is it weird this conversation is reminding me strangely of the taxation conversations in the prequel movies?
Here we're gonna talk about Force Awakens.
Because
But
Force Awakens
merchandising.
suck. I object. I don't know why I'm objecting. I vote for no confidence in Michael Medina's ability.
I actually saw
Me stop propose.
a gal with an R2D2 purse yesterday.
Nice.
Oh, the theater I was at, there were freaking droids there, man.
Holy shit.
Nice.
Oh, I'll show you the picture
Dude.
later. I actually forgot to put the post. I was going to say, look, sir, droids. There's like 2 versions of R2, and then that one that.
Oh, the BB-8.
No, the one
Can we
that.
talk about
The one that Uncle
I mean,
Owen was
well,
Can we talk about the movie first?
But to reiterate that point, I really would like to look into that. I'd like to see if George Lucas gave it outright, because if that is true, then like he's done.
Yeah.
Then he's done. You know, like what's to not give away Indiana Jones or whatever. It's just
Well,
Well, I think that's Spielberg.
I was gonna
isn't
say,
it?
Yeah,
it's
Indiana Jones.
Spielberg directed that, but George Lucas created Indiana Jones. You know that. That's a Lucasfilm That's a Lucasfilm umbrella.
True.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Force Awakens.
Force Awakens.
Sorry. I mean, like, I'm not gonna waste my time going over the plot. Chances are you've already seen the fucking movie. I'm not gonna like.
If you haven't, why watch this?
Plus, as I said,
Spoilerific.
plus, as we said, it's basically New Hope. So
Yeah, like,
even if you haven't seen
I-
it, you've seen it.
I mean, like, I think they even reference that in the movie when Han Solo, like, is looking at the hologram, like the small Death Star and the huge, like, what they call it, Star Killer. Everybody goes,
Yeah.
all right, so they made it bigger.
Made the Death Star bigger.
Right, there's gotta be a way to blow it up.
Now, there's always a way to blow it
Now,
up.
instead of multiple points coming together to make one beam, it's one beam that spreads into multiple points.
Well, what I like about that whole situation, the new weapon,
Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
is that it has a weakness. It has a foreseeable weakness. For
Yeah.
instance, you have this infinite power of the universe, but you have to kill a sun to do it.
Yeah.
I like the give and take of that.
Mm.
It
Yeah.
makes way more sense than something you could just construct with your hands that could just
Yeah.
destroy everything. You know, so I like that.
And like, it's not like a manhole that is the weakness. It's actually a closely guarded and heavily armored weakness.
Right.
That there's actually a struggle to take down.
And there's a time limit. I like
Yes.
that too. They're like
It was-
okay, so they're gonna
That
kill the
obviously
sun.
is not
as
happening
long
in
as-
real time. Because it was the longest 2 fucking minutes I've ever
But-
seen.
Well, and that's an issue. That's
Yeah.
an issue we're gonna talk about. Right?
Yeah.
That's an issue. But I just like it. I like that the stakes are clearly stated. You know what I mean?
And they're so much higher.
Yeah. Whereas with Star Wars, with Star Wars, they're usually kind of vague.
Yeah.
But George Lucas does that on purpose because it harkens back to the old serials that he used to listen to when he was a kid. It's like, why are we doing this? Who cares? It's happening.
Well, it helps that.
You know what I mean?
Basically,
That's just how it is.
Right.
It does
That's how
help.
it is. It's the MacGuffin.
Yeah.
The
It does help that like one of the main screenwriters was the guy who's the writer for Empire Strikes Back.
Well, yeah, Kasdan,
Yeah.
and that's another point I want
Yeah,
to
but
make.
you and I were talking about this.
We were
a
talking
little
about
earlier.
that later.
So yeah, I mean, like, I guess we'll just dive right into it. I mean,
So you set the topic.
okay, let's set the topic. I mean, let's talk about just the general plot. Like, it is basically A New Hope. The basic plot is that 2 new characters. One is a stormtrooper who like is a surprisingly progressive Star Wars movie. He's played by a black guy, which is awesome, and he's great. He's very enjoyable. And
very good actor.
Yeah, I was a fan of him from.
He's
Jack
just
Block.
and
I
that's
didn't see that one, but
that's why
I'm
I
sure
couldn't
I see
stand the hate and the vitriol for the
oh my
Jedi.
god, that's so
He's
ridiculous.
just good.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's just
He's
good.
a good fucking actor. I mean,
He's just good, man.
But either way, like, he comes stormtrooper, and this other. By the way, I'm surprised to see many people from Ex Machina in this movie.
Apparently, there's also 5 people from Game of Thrones in this movie.
Yeah.
But I just go
I know
like,
there's one guy from James Bond who's in it. At one
yeah,
point.
Daniel Craig. He played
Yeah.
That is not to be confirmed, but I really hope that was.
But he's
true.
not
Oh
in
my God,
James
that
Bond
was-
anymore, I thought.
Well, that's still to be determined. It's kind
Instant
of
loss.
All right, let's get back to the movie. All right, sorry.
Anyway, and that's the problem with having so many people here is we go intentionally 2 people. God,
But no,
it's
for
5.
Let's do it that way. You talk about it.
All right,
Yes.
so they call him Finn, but it's not like it's like a shortened version of like actual like ID code, which I thought was a nice touch.
I like that too.
Yeah.
And they actually referenced the clone army, which a very like throwaway line. They also explain like they're not clones anymore. We just
Yeah.
get them from birth and just torture the shit out. of
Which
them,
is
pretty
even
much.
worse.
Yeah. So I was like, I mean, there's a lot of questions, kind of just like where the hell this new. I'm sure it explained like some kind of book or comic book or something. Somewhere.
There is a comic that GameStop released that kind of explains what happens before this, and it is canon. From what I understand.
Because like for some reason there's a New Republic out, but there's also a
The First Order.
the first
Yeah.
no it's the Republic and there's the First Order. They're 2 different
Yeah.
things.
And the
Right.
Rebel Alliance that
I
helped
wasn't able to
reinstate
pick up
the
on that,
Republic is now the Resistance. They're still apart from the government.
Yeah.
but-
So that's kind of confusing. There's a Republic, there's a Resistance, and there's a New Order, but the Republic is helping the Resistance.
It's basically World War II. It's a World War II
It's a
situation.
World War II
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. The Republic's America is the Allies. The First Order is the Axis.
And we can't be seen starting
Well, like, it's
wars,
like-
but we support what they stand for. So underneath, we
What I
give
thought-
them
yeah,
money.
yeah, what I
We've
thought-
done that plenty of
yeah.
times. So.
Correct.
Yeah. What I thought what was the deal with the New Order was like I was kind of under the impression that after Episode 6, like that was it with the Empire. So I thought like the New Order would be like it's like the people who remain loyal to the Empire per se.
Pretty
But,
much.
like
No, it's the rebooted Empire.
yeah.
Basically.
The Empire 2.0.
The way it was explained through interviews was that the First Order. Now remember, not everybody from the Empire believed that what they were doing was wrong.
Okay.
right? And
Yeah.
and they literally had the wool pull over their eyes. So when the rebels completely destroyed everything, killed the emperor, all of that stuff, there are a contingency of people who were like, these guys are the villains.
Yeah, what the hell?
You know, so what I understand is that the First Order is that contingency of people that set into motion these things, so they become their own faction.
Yeah.
That makes
They're no
sense.
longer the Empire.
Yeah.
They hold the ideals of the Empire, and they
Yeah.
are like the new rebels.
Yeah.
Another.
They hold the ideals of the once popular government who are trying to bring it back.
As another friend put it, they're space ISIS.
Really, actually more like
Space
space
ISIS.
Nazis. That's
Well,
what it is.
well, yeah,
Yeah.
and in
They're
the
like the
original
space
trilogy, the
neo-Nazis.
rebels are freaking ISIS. That's what they do. You know, only it just so happens what they're doing is pretty noble. You know, the tactics are the same. You know,
Propaganda.
They weren't ISIS, they were the Wolverines.
One person's
That's my
terrorist is
favorite
another
movie.
person's freedom fighter.
Right.
It's one
And
of my favorite
that,
movies.
which is a good point that kind of permeates through the whole Star Wars thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like that.
Okay, so long story short, the pilot gets captured by the First Order.
Poe
Also,
Dameron.
Poe Dameron, who's a badass.
Yes.
Badass.
Awesome.
Okay.
Amazing pilot.
He is what Gentiles and Luke Skywalker together. I like that. I like that some guy who's just a good pilot is just a good pilot.
Yes.
all I can
He's
think probably
good.
is like we just saw him in Ex Machina earlier this year, so
Well,
I was
I
like,
didn't
oh
see it.
man,
I didn't see
I
it.
understand
I
now
didn't
why he
see it.
retired and
I
made
didn't see
Feel
Ex
Six
Machina.
Bucks.
Yeah, he's new to me. He's new to me.
Yeah.
So
Same
yeah,
here.
Poe Dameron,
Yeah.
good character.
I did-
Yes.
Awesome character.
Excellently executed.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, yeah, for me, it's like I've been a fan of the actors since Drive, actually.
Okay.
See, I was never a big fan of Drive, but that's a whole other thing.
So this pilot character, he has this adorable orange and white droid,
BB-8.
BB-8. But
He's so cute.
I know,
It's so
he's like
cute. I
the
love
most adorable
BB-8.
little droid.
Yes.
Yes.
And
Mini stocking stuffers.
I
yes,
really, yeah.
and
You ever see that? I'm
he
sorry. Oh.
he gives BB-8 a piece
Yeah.
of a map to the whereabouts or possible whereabouts of Luke Skywalker.
Because apparently he's just up and disappeared.
That's my boy.
Uh-huh.
That's my boy. Well, I mean, you know, he tried to start a school.
And that didn't work out.
It didn't work out.
That's why
I love that they left it in
Yeah.
because I was so worried that the expanded universe was all going to be trashed and just torched, but they obviously paid attention to it. You know, and that's a good thing.
Yep. So, long story short, Finn has crisis of conscience. He frees the captain. They escape in a TIE fighter, and Finn runs into a nut. What are you laughing at?
How quickly it happens?
No. Why are you doing this? Because it's the right thing.
Okay, why are you really doing this? I need a captain.
No,
I need a captain.
No, it's like,
You need ship.
You need a pilot, don't you?
I need a pilot.
I need a pilot. You're fucking happy? I need a pilot.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. You know, it's the right thing to do, but that's only part of the reason.
Yeah.
And you were
Enlightened
worried that
self-interest.
this wouldn't have any jokes.
See, well, I still want to contend that the jokes were metered, but they weren't measured properly, and I still think some of them were tacked on.
Yeah.
See,
That's,
I think you still
that's
want
what
to
I
admit
would
that you
say.
were wrong. Bro.
That was actually one of my issues.
What I'm saying is that when you have actors that riff off of each other, the jokes happen on their own.
No, you're right.
There are unintentional jokes in the Star Wars trilogy that create levity within the franchise.
Oh, do we want to attack on jokes in Star Wars?
I'm simply stating that the chemistry between actors create great moments.
Yes.
And what I was
this
worried
movie
about.
has that.
What I was worried
chemistry.
about was that there wouldn't be enough of that. I
Yeah.
was wrong about that.
There's so much chemistry between all of these actors.
Yes.
He makes a good point though, which was one of my key problems, was a lot of the jokes felt like they were funny.
Yeah.
But they felt like they should not have been there because it kind of ruined the moment. Like, case in point, the opening scene when Poe Dameron gets captured.
Right, and he's like, should I talk? Should you talk?
Yeah, it's
I was
like, he
like,
just killed a guy!
Bro,
Is this the flow?
So I was right about that. That joke was tacked on as fuck.
yeah.
All
Like,
right.
they're just kind of rolling, and that was originally just gonna be a blooper reel. They're just like, oh, let's just squeeze that in, get the Parks and Rec audience in
You know what I
this.
mean? Like, yeah.
So they capture him, but BB-8 gets away with a piece of the map, so the First Order does not get it.
I
And
love Princess Leia.
Yes.
Yeah, no, really. Like when you compare the two movies, it's just, yeah, you're right. He's basically remaking New Hope, but at the same time,
Yeah.
Although
like,
her name in this one is Rey, and she's a scavenger.
no, yeah,
Right. And infinitely more interesting than Luke Skywalker in his infancy as a
I
Jedi.
agree.
Yes.
You know?
Absolutely.
More competently acted too. Let's be
Right.
fair. I mean, I like
Well,
Ringo Starr
hold on.
movies.
Let's not say competent because Mark Hamill's a hell of a fucking actor.
I love
Oh,
Mark
yeah.
Hamill, but let's
Mark
look
Hamill don't fuck
comments.
around.
Yeah.
I mean, let's look back at those Star Wars movies though. I really look back at them without the fuse of nostalgia. The acting in the movie was pretty hokey.
The writing in Star Wars has always been hokey.
Yeah.
The problem is finding actors who can say it and make you believe it.
Yeah.
You know,
Like-
if you look at the readings for the Star Wars script, the auditions, you know what I mean? It's clear why they chose Mark Hamill.
Mm-hmm.
He could spit that stuff out a mile a minute, and it all sounded accurate and plausible. And so I contend that the whiny Luke Skywalker is an intentional choice.
Yeah.
That being said,
You
on that
know.
topic, I never thought he was that whiny. It's like, okay,
I did.
I did.
it's like
It was a smidge whiny once in a while.
I can see where people would get at, but it's like at the same time, it never bothered me. I was like,
Yeah.
But Uncle, I was gonna get some power converters.
Right.
I was gonna meet with my friends at the gas
But he's
station.
an incredibly sheltered
Yeah,
boy
he's-
who knows nothing about his lineage. It
Yeah.
works. It's fine.
Exactly.
You know, like
You know, as far as he's concerned, he's just kind of some small. You know, he's just from this
Yeah.
backwoods planet where they farm dirt or whatever, and you know,
and make
just,
water out of it or something.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is.
we've kind of done the same things
Yeah.
for over more trivial crap.
Fair
No,
enough.
You
but,
know,
but yeah, competency. Like, come on.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair
Come
enough.
on.
Comment redacted. But anyway.
Like-
So yeah, basically, long story short, because apparently we're just gonna go on tangents galore in this one, and we're never gonna get to the actual story.
Well, we're trying.
And
We're doing our
so
best.
keep it
We're
focused.
We're not blaming you.
We're
sir.
about a quarter.
We're blaming everyone else.
Yeah.
Quarter through Act One.
So, okay.
So let me just give a break. Let me just get us, and no one interrupt me. God damn it.
Okay.
See what I did there?
Anywho, shut the fuck up. Fuck up. Fuck up.
Okay.
Fuck up. Okay. Alright.
Fuck. I'm gonna go to the corner.
And you thought it was gonna be me.
I almost want to turn the camera and just show Matt just actually staring into the corner in despair.
Yeah, who could interrupt this? Could it be you, or you, or you?
Continue.
Alright, so long story short, Finn runs into, what was her name, right?
Rey.
Finn runs into Rey and BB-8,
BB-8,
yeah.
who was described to him by Poe,
Yep,
who he thinks is dead.
yep. So they get together and Finn convinces Rey that he's part of the rebellion, even though he's obviously lying, and then they go on a space adventure, they run to Han Solo, they go on more space adventures, they run to Kylo Ren, turns out Han Solo's son. Oh no! They go to the bigger Death Star.
They meet,
Han Solo, oh no, dies. Oh no, bad things happen. Kylo Ren's a pretty boy. Talk about that later. And I'm not a fan of that either. And then they blow up the new Death Star 3.0. And there we go. It's the story of New Hope. Okay, now we can talk whatever the hell we want. So,
Okay.
I forgot Maz Kanata.
Well, yeah. Hold up. Well, yeah. What about Maz Kanata? What about this 1,000-year-old chick? What about Luke's lightsaber that fell off the freaking?
well, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Do you want to run the show?
What about
that's
Luke
like-
Skywalker at the end? What
that's
about
like one of
stare
my
down?
favorites.
What about Princess Leia? What about?
Well, we get to it, you didn't fucking interrupted.
But I didn't. I sat there and listened to you talking. You skipped it all.
And also fan
Because I
service.
have to, because you guys are talking motherfuckers.
One bit of fan service that I couldn't help but applaud at in my theater was the ship that Rey and Finn and BB-8 escape on is the Millennium Falcon.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah. Oh, the audience went batshit over
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. They
That's
did.
a piece of crap.
Well, yeah,
Man.
I love how they did it. Yeah, that's a piece of junk. That's garbage. It's like, okay,
Yeah,
garbage I have to do.
Millennium Falcon.
It's like, you guys don't even know what the fuck you have.
Yep.
You know, like, fuck you.
See, that was my thought. Where I mean, that was great. Like, my thought was, wait, if it's that fucking easy to steal, why has nobody done it up to this point?
Well,
Because a lot of people did.
Yeah,
It
Han
has
Solo
been
was
done
talking
over
about
and
that.
over and over.
You know
what I
he
mean?
got it stolen from
Like
him,
Han
that
Solo,
guy got
Han
it
Solo
stolen.
stole it from Lando. Lando
Yeah.
stole it from somebody else. You know.
But I was saying, like, I mean,
And
like, I
someone
get
else
why
from
she
Han.
stayed. 'Cause she's supposed to be waiting for her family, but at the same time, it's like she clearly could have just left any time she wanted.
Yeah.
So, like, that kind of bug. It's a minor.
I-
bug.
Yeah, but you know,
That's
she
cool.
needed the motivation to.
Yeah.
Plus,
Like,
she didn't know.
yeah.
Well, yeah,
There were-
again,
yeah, she
new,
was-
new hope.
yeah, she
Luke
had-
wouldn't have left.
Yeah.
No matter how shitty his life was, he wouldn't have left.
Yeah.
Unless all that shit happened in a row, right? Gave him impetus to leave.
I kind of feel like Rey's character is a combination of Luke and Han Solo because she has the street smarts and she's a scavenger, she's a great pilot, and the Force is strong in her.
And
Yeah.
more than likely related to somebody in the fucking
Well,
universe.
there's only two
Yeah,
choices.
I was-
There's only two choices.
Yeah, it's either Luke or
He's
Han.
either Luke's daughter or Luke's niece. That's
Yeah.
it.
I was gonna say because
That's it.
if he, she was related to Han. Han would have known.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Well,
something
well,
too.
I was
the
kinda
thing
getting
is,
suspicious of
Han
that.
does know something. It's clear
Yeah.
that he knows something
He
about it.
he definitely
You
had a
know,
look on him.
the interactions with her, the stuff they leave out. Maz comes in, tell me about the girl, and he's like, boom.
That
It always happens away from her.
Yeah.
I'm still convinced
You know what I
that she's that.
No, it's probably
she's,
Luke.
yeah.
I think it's Luke too, because the way he looks at her, there's something about that.
Yeah.
And plus, like
You
you
know?
said before, if it was Han and Leia, like they would have said something, like
Yeah.
aside from like,
Right.
oh, by the way, our daughter's here. You know,
Well,
like,
that's a constant in the Star Wars series, though. Like they don't tell these kids anything, and wonder
Yeah.
why they get fucked up.
Even when
You know?
she's not there, when they're talking, they don't mention her. So it's like it's
Right.
So it's very obvious, like they're not like
They're not saying it on purpose.
Yeah.
Yes.
They're not saying it on purpose, and maybe it is the Luke connection because maybe they want her to find out on her own.
well, like my
You
thing
know,
is more the
maybe
fact
it's
when they're
that.
talking alone and they're just talking about Kylo Ren,
Yeah.
and then it's like, okay, if they at no point he mentioned the girl
Yeah.
at all. Like
Yeah.
if they were actually related, that would for sure come up. If
That
it's
would for
them.
sure come
Yeah.
out. You're
so
right.
like, there's no
You're
way
right.
it's that way.
So maybe it is, you know, or maybe it's Luke's daughter, or maybe it's somebody that Luke was close to that died in this whole Jedi Academy thing.
somehow
And,
related.
you know, somehow related.
On this topic, though, I did find it interesting how Kylo Ren's real name was Ben, which is supposed to be
Yeah.
the
Ben
name.
That was
Kenobi.
nice.
Did you hear
No.
that? Yeah.
That's how. Yeah, no, that
Where he
was the
shouts
name,
it. Where
that-
Han Solo shouts
yeah,
it.
Yeah.
and that was supposed to be the name of Luke's son in the original continuity.
Boom! Ben Skywalker.
So I was like, I read that, I was like, wait, Ben, that name is very familiar. Then I looked back, I was like, oh, that's where I heard it from.
I knew it as Obi-Wan's
Yeah.
first name, but
Right,
I
right.
just-
Well, yeah.
Ben
Luke
Kenobi,
names
yeah.
in the expanded universe. He names him after Ben. You know, and they're kind of like a they're kind of like a detective father and son. They go around the universe.
They go
finding
around
Hey,
mysteries.
Charlie
there.
Chan?
No,
Yeah. Universe,
Well,
man.
it's like the mysteries of the Force. They're trying to
Oh.
collect trinkets
Oh.
and shit, and you know,
I'm
collect
just
things.
picturing them in like a
So-
mystery
Anomalies
machine
and all
with
this
wings.
so it's Scooby-Doo in space.
With lightsabers.
Jar Jar is
Yeah.
Scooby-Doo.
With lightsabers.
Okay.
With lightsabers. Yeah, well, also in that story, Luke gets kicked out of the New Republic, be it because he starts to get in the political realm and he sees it going back to a bad place, and they excommunicate him. That's why he leaves.
Okay, but like, okay, so I will say this. I like how the Force is represented in this movie.
Me too.
Which
It
is,
is
like,
done so well.
It feels stronger.
Yes.
like, it feels back to going back to
It's
the
so
mythological
mystical.
part of the Force rather than
Yeah.
like a part of me almost wanted just out of just morbid curiosity if like the older like little CGI woman looked at Rey and goes, man, you've got a shit ton of midichlorians.
You got midi
I am so
coming out
glad
of
when
nowhere.
Amy said that was not going to be there. I was like,
Yes.
Well, here's the thing. He can say it's not going to be there, but because it was a part of the films, it's still there.
Yeah.
And I like it was poorly done in the prequels, but I like the concept, and to hear the other actors speak about it the way it was introduced to them, it would have been something interesting. If you watch the Blu-rays, the extended scenes, all of the interviews, Liam Neeson, who everybody said hated doing Star Wars, sat there and talked at length about how he loves the script of Episode 1.
like
And
actually,
midichlorians, it was a
I'm
big
starting to feel
part
like
of
we
it.
should have done more research before coming here.
like actually, if you watch the Clone Wars TV show they had,
Oh yeah, that was a good
there was
show.
actually a good like in the last season they actually did one with like it was about Yoda and actually Liam Neeson guest starring as
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I
Yeah.
remember the last
Like,
couple episodes.
and I feel
Yeah.
like that was they found a good balance between the whole midichlorian nonsense and the
But apparently he really likes that shit. Like Liam Neeson, he obviously he butt heads with George Lucas, but he liked playing Qui-Gon Jinn and he liked what was written about what was going
I
on.
do find it funny that apparently he signed on without even reading the script. Because he
Star
was
Wars,
so
fuck yes.
excited that there was another. Exactly, that's
Star
what
Wars,
it was.
fuck yeah, hell yeah. There you have
What
that.
happened?
Yeah.
Wouldn't you?
Like, oh look,
Yeah.
these Chinese stereotypes. Oh, really should have read this first.
Yeah.
What the hell is Jar Jar supposed to be? Oh, this is gonna be ugly. And is this merchandise supposed to talk to? Oh God.
But politely, his faith was rewarded. He was handed one of the greatest Star Wars characters.
And he's the only one of the original actors that came back to return as the character in the cartoon show.
Yeah, man. Well, yeah, never mind.
And I thought C-3PO did too.
3PO did, and
R2D2.
Ahmed Best always plays Jar Jar no matter where he is.
Because that's
He
all
plays
he's
him.
got.
Yeah. Sadly, you know, I thought he's a good guy.
Like, I mean, here's what this movie did right in comparison to like the previous movies we've seen is the fact that it knows when to it blends CGI and practical effects.
Yeah.
It has to be
Yes.
like this from now on.
It has to.
It has to be like this.
Yeah.
from now on.
It looks like one of the classic Star Wars films.
Like when they go in the bar or the cantina, like
Yeah.
halfway through the movie, that felt like fucking Star Wars.
I needed that for the longest time.
Oh, yeah.
I needed that.
Because like the robots and the aliens, like they're
Okay,
actually
place
fucking
more Star
there,
Wars
and even like
films.
CGI ones, because there's so many practical effects there, didn't bother me as much as it
Right.
would.
Yeah.
That's all it was. It was just
Well,
CGI.
now CGI is so good that you can blend it with the practical, and it makes it look more real.
I mean, it's not always
So-
good. I mean, look at Jurassic World.
By itself, by
it.
itself
No.
just doesn't do the trick anymore. You know, we need this healthy blend. We need this healthy balance of the real versus the abstract, computer generated lit shit.
Mhm.
So
No, like, and
I
that
agree.
stuff worked well. Like, I like the way they do it in the
Yeah.
Force. I like these practical effects, and like the cinematography in this movie. I think
Yes.
is gorgeous.
it's very
is.
good. It's very good.
I mean, the retread of The New Hope didn't necessarily bother me, although it was impossible not to see. It didn't bother me too much because I think I've said a lot of times on the show. It's like every idea has always been done before. It's more just a matter is it done well, and
Yeah.
like it's still done very well here.
Agreed.
Okay, but that being said, here's what I did like. Fuck. I did not like that they made Kylo Ren a pretty boy. I mean, I get why
I'm
it's
gonna
not.
keep my mouth shut because I'm gonna take it even further than you.
I know
Oh,
we were talking about this a little bit
I'm gonna
earlier.
take it even further than you.
Yeah, I'm gonna dispute.
Kind
Well,
of
okay,
made him
yeah,
less menacing.
yeah. Like I have to admit, when like he first took off his mask, I was actually pretty disappointed with like how he looked. Like he's got
Yes.
that long, flowing raven hair, and I swear he had like really pouty ass lips.
Yeah, great. You want to talk about that?
Jon Snow, what have they done to you?
But at first I was like, could you actually put that thing back on? You were way more intimidating.
I know that was my thought.
Words! That I agree with.
But I felt like as it kind of kept going, particularly in that scene where he shares with Han Solo, his father, like I felt like that's where he really shined as an actor.
Yeah.
I think
Like
the actor did a
that-
perfectly fine job.
Yeah, he was.
I would have been happier with the buzz cuts.
What's up?
I would have been happier with the buzz cuts.
A little bit.
I was like, oh
Yeah.
man, he looks like fucking Hiccup from Drake the Dragon. Alright? And he's
now
talking
I
like
wonder
Javier
how else-
Bardem, which is kind of
I
distracting.
was wondering how all his hair fit in that helmet.
I don't know either. I was like, man, keep the fucking helmet on. You look really
No
He
helmet hair
looks like a less
whatsoever.
manly Grant with no facial hair.
I'm sorry.
No, he normally does have a beard, and they said they actually have him shade that off just to actually look younger.
Oh.
Everyone's saying
They
that
couldn't cut his fucking hair.
How did he not
I guess-
have helmet hair?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He takes it off. It's like a shampoo.
Everybody get it out because I'm about to say some flame bait shit right now.
Just remember sending your angry emails to him.
Yeah, send it to me.
Okay,
Just
I mean,
put his email on the bottom of the
Okay.
screen. It's right
The
there.
floor is yours, Ron.
All right, Ron.
All right,
Okay.
okay.
All right.
As I said before, there are a lot of seeds planted in this story that I enjoy. I like the fact that for once I'm looking forward to seeing what happens. Because even in the prequels, I already knew what happens. You know, you have to find other reasons to watch those. Okay? And a lot of the pieces connect really well. But as of right now, I don't know what the other films are. I don't know how they're going to elaborate on Kylo Ren. But as of right now, Kylo Ren is the most unintimidating Star Wars villain in the history of the franchise. Okay? And I will illustrate my point just one way. And there is no one who can refute this. I challenge you to refute me.
Oh.
Okay?
actually,
With a man with that kind of force control at his fingertips, that huge fucking broadsword lightsaber, okay?
Yes.
The troops at his command, what makes a stormtrooper that doesn't even know his own name think he can take you?
In all fairness,
Okay?
he knew he could not take him on. That was not about winning.
Okay.
That was about
When he held his own with a Sith apprentice, Sith Lord, whatever you want to call him.
Well,
actually
Okay?
has no connection.
The stormtroopers never picked up a lightsaber. He's fought with it twice. He gets hits on them.
granted,
Okay? You fucking suck. Okay?
I don't remember getting a hit on him though.
He
No,
got
he
hit.
did.
Right across the shoulder.
He nicked him on the shoulder and
Clean hit.
Beginner's luck.
It doesn't matter.
It was a little,
And
like really,
also-
what was more surprising was when Ray was getting hits, and she
Ray-
never fought with that damn thing.
Ray didn't even want to touch it.
That annoyed the living hell out of
And
me.
she beat the shit out of him.
Oh man,
That was my biggest gripe, which I'll get to
Trust-
afterwards.
Kylo Ren is garbage. Okay? Kylo Ren is garbage right now.
Just kind of shit in a fight as it is. Yeah.
Right now, he's garbage.
Oh, yeah.
One, I do agree.
And Chewbacca fucking got a clean hit on him without him blocking it. What the fuck?
Oh,
You can't
yeah.
say- okay, don't tell me that you can hold a blaster bolt in the air the entire time you're there until you walk out on the ship and let it explode. And then you kill your own father, you stab him, and Chewbacca gets a clean hit on you with a bowcaster from like 500 meters?
Given
What the fuck?
Chewbacca
Okay,
kicked that ass.
okay, in that case, that was more understandable because that was based in a state where like Kylo was in more of a precarious mental state given what he
Yeah.
just went through.
Well,
He was
like,
distracted.
but you couldn't
The
sense
majority,
that.
the majority of
couldn't
dark
sense
side
that.
powers are based on having a precarious mental state. They're
Yeah,
that's
particularly-
what I mean.
But keep in mind though, as he said, he was a guy that is still torn between the light and the dark, as he said. The
Yeah.
fact that he
That's
was
true.
in a state where he could not focus.
And all of that is good. All of that is good character development. I would like to see how that goes. But what the fuck? These
Some
are
of that line is kinda
glaring. These are
useless.
glaring issues.
Yeah.
well,
These are glaring issues.
He kinda gets the shit
When
kicked
when
out
I
of him,
the
yeah.
first time I saw Darth Vader before he even opened his mouth or his voice box or whatever, I did not want to fuck with that dude.
yeah.
Okay? The first time I see Kylo Ren, it's promising. But as
Yeah.
it goes on, what the fuck? Why are you so
He
weak?
kind of takes
I
shit from a
agree.
lot of people in the movie.
That's
really.
what I mean.
Like, there's also that like ginger general guy.
Yeah, that
He's
one I can
stepping on his toes.
How is the
Yeah.
pissant more hard than you? That's what I'm saying. How is the
Darth Vader would have force
stormtrooper?
choked the shit out of that guy.
If I can piggyback up off of what you're saying, other than his pretty boy looks, to me what made him less menacing was the fact that his way of handling disappointing news was to
Lose his
throw
shit.
a freaking hissy fit
You see what I'm saying?
and to intentionally slap his red lightsaber around, destroying his own property. And
To be
it's a-
fair, all
like-
guys have that problem.
yeah,
Yeah.
and that did make it one of the funnier moments in the movies.
Yes.
Stormtroopers,
Yeah.
like, they're just like,
Right.
like,
The genuinely funny one I thought was when he just slashing the shit out of it and he turns around. Anything else?
yes,
That was funny.
Yeah.
agreed.
That was
Anything
funny.
else?
But you do have to admit it is hard to take Kylo Ren seriously as a
Yeah.
menacing villain
When he does child temper tantrums.
when he throws a freaking hissy fit.
Yeah.
Come on.
Well, several things. That is kind of meant to be the point, though.
I do agree with
Yeah.
you on that.
Because it's like
You know-
he is still supposed to be considered a child. They said that
Yeah.
he's supposed to be in his late teens.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I see.
I was
that
kind of
one.
getting an angsty vibe from the guy.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but I thought that was just Skywalker syndrome.
Well, that's gonna make sense in retrospect. Come back home, son. I got my own thing going here, Dad. I don't conform to your ideas of society.
Okay, but how bitch is that? Okay, how bitch is that? I need to kill you, Dad. Can you come closer? Can you
Well,
come
he
closer?
was vague
Can you
about
help me?
You've been very
Can you
like.
help me?
okay,
Can you hold it just right, please? You know, what the fuck?
I mean, like, the part that made me laugh.
Han knew he was. Well, like.
Han knew.
Oh, he
Yes,
knew.
he did.
Han knew.
I don't know. I was
Because-
like, I thought he was handing him the lightsaber so Han could kill him.
No,
Like, that's what I
which-
thought.
which
and then
was-
he tricked him. That's what I thought.
Which was an
happened.
awesome plot development that I really liked that I thought I wasn't going to like. Han Solo has evolved into this man who finally understands things in the universe the way that they are.
Yeah.
You know, when his wife tells him to go back and get their son, he knows he can't do it. Okay, he understands the nature to the Force to the point where you can't save him. It's not going to end well either way. He only does it because he wants to do it for Leia.
Yes.
He knows he's not going to be able to, but he wants to keep his word to her. That's why he shouts at him. That's why he goes, and that's why he dies.
I mean, like at that point, I probably should have seen Han Solo's death coming from like way before I actually.
I should have too.
Like as soon as he walks, as soon as he approached the grave, I was like,
That was too.
This ain't happening.
Well,
Oh, he's asking Han to kill him. Oh shit, he killed him. Oh god, my feels.
Well, it was the episode 4 tinge to it that alerted me to it, because when they started laying the charges, then I knew that something was gonna happen.
No, because it's like
You know.
that whole thing echoed the tractor beam scene.
Right.
And I was just like
Obi-Wan going
and
around.
I was like, oh god, don't tell me my friend guessed it. Because my friend had a huge theory about what was going to happen. He wasn't quite right, but he was pretty close. And that was one of the things he guessed. I was like, oh mother.
Yeah.
Do you
But-
him money now?
I was like, but
It is fitting though that they brought back Lawrence Kasdan to finish it off, because he was originally supposed to kill him in Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah.
And George Lucas nixed it.
well, he wasn't supposed to be dead in Empire. He was supposed to be officially
Frozen.
dead in Return of the
Well,
Jedi.
yeah, he was supposed to be frozen in carbonite, but never made it back.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like Lucas nixed it and brought him back.
I mean, because Harrison Ford notoriously hated the character.
It's not that he hated the character. He said in an interview that by the time you get to Empire Strikes Back, the plot development hasn't happened to the point where he had any more plot obligations. So he was like, he said
He's
it.
just kind of there
Yeah,
for
he
the
said
ride,
it legit.
yeah.
He said it. He's got no mama. He's got no papa. He's got no people that really care about him. Those are his words. And he said that maybe it was time for him to go.
Yeah.
And that's.
While we're on that topic, let's talk about Han Solo in this movie. Because, like, I mean, I've seen Harrison Ford in a lot of recent movies. He's kind of been doing the same shtick for a while. Like, just grumpy old man. But, like, this one, I was worried he was going to do with that in this movie. And I was kind of confirmed a little bit through the trailers because he was in.
Right.
But, like, this one, as soon as he pops up on stage, starts talking, it's like, okay, older, more mature Han.
He's completely
Yes,
different.
which I love.
Not completely. He's still got the.
He's kind of got that smuggler's charm.
Well,
but, like,
I
at
mean,
the same time, he's like
completely
wiser,
different.
right?
Completely different in the fact that he's open to more suggestion.
And
he's not just going to completely write shit off anymore
Yeah.
like he used to.
Yeah.
Because you were worried about this too. We're talking
I
about
was worried about it.
Because we were
I
talking about this in
was.
the Creed review. Where we're saying like, because in the original movies, like he said, like he never believed in the Force. He was always like, oh, this is hippy dippy bullshit, basically.
Right.
But like in this one, they reference that. It basically is like I was wrong, and it basically
I
it's like
was wrong.
you totally buy that this is just a older, more mature Han.
It
Yeah.
does.
Yes.
It
Yes,
does
you
help
do.
that
That
even
was
his
one of the
acting
best
felt more
scenes.
on par than they did
Yeah.
with the other
It did.
movies.
No, I feel like he was
It's
trying harder than anything
Yeah.
else, like Indiana Jones.
Because like
stuff.
I started watching New Hope again. I was like, a little flat, but okay.
Yeah,
I still like them, but
The words are flat.
yeah.
Yeah.
The words are just flat.
Yeah.
You know,
That's like
it
another.
has
yeah.
nothing to do with the actors. The actors
well,
did what they could.
You did mention he was kind of along for the ride.
Yeah.
I think that
Yeah.
it kind of showed in that.
Yeah.
Right. And he had little to no plot obligation except for the first one. He's supposed to get him to Alderaan. He's supposed to get him the Death Star.
Yeah.
He comes in and helps, but after that, it's kind of like
You're frozen in carbonite, and
Yeah,
you just kind of
you know.
went to Endor because.
right. So if they were gonna do a proper plot summary that brought him back into the story, maybe the love thing with Leia should have happened earlier.
Yeah.
So he has a reason to stay.
Yeah.
You know, so but other than that, you're absolutely right. More mature. I loved it. It was a great send off for that character because
Agreed.
he can't die an old man.
Also,
You know what I mean?
spoilers,
It just wouldn't make any sense.
we
And-
crossed that bridge like
Yeah.
20 minutes ago.
Yeah.
So in terms of the other characters, Leia was kind of just there. She did a good job.
No, I think like I kind of would. I mean, she's definitely has more of a cameo role than Han Solo.
That's right.
Yeah.
But the next one I would say is like, no, I still buy it as like older, more mature Leia. I mean, like I
There's-
totally believe her that
Does
shit.
anyone else
And-
think she like shrank or something?
well,
She
the thing.
lost a lot of weight.
Sadly,
Right.
Carrie Fisher is the daughter of Debbie Reynolds.
And Eddie Fisher.
You know, basically royalty
Yes.
film actress in Hollywood for decades and decades. She has had nothing but drug and alcohol issues
Yeah.
since the original Star Wars, and her mother plays a big role in that. If you really want to know what happened to Carrie Fisher, you watch Postcards from the Edge. That's a movie that talks about real events. But long story short, and this is out of respect and love for Carrie Fisher and everything that she did, she torched her voice.
Yeah.
She torched her voice and she torched her body to the point where she can't play Leia the way she used to. And they were forced probably to give her a limited role because she probably couldn't handle the hours.
Yeah.
She probably couldn't handle it. You know? And that's sad to say. Because she was such a gifted and talented actress in her time. You know? She really was.
But even in that cameo, like, they still kind of made her sort of this strong, authoritative
And that's good.
figure.
She,
that was
she,
actually kind of
we
badass.
got the payoff. We got the payoff from the other movies.
They did what they did.
She's a general now, which is
Yes.
Right.
Basically, they pulled off the Amidala right this time.
Well, it's supposed. They
don't call her princess.
You're supposed to be better than your
They
predecessor,
call her
right?
general now.
You're supposed to be the new, improved version of your parents, right?
Yeah.
So that you know.
Well, it's more also
Except
the
for
fact that
rebellious Kylo. You just, god damn it, he's going through that fucking Sith phase.
I know. Seriously, he's fucking Napoleon Dynamite. Okay? He's Napoleon Dynamite.
God, you didn't get the droid? God.
Goes to the stormtrooper, eat your dinner.
Like seriously, bro. Seriously. Like and
Oh my God.
Adam. That's the first I know of that actor.
Adam-
So I don't know where it's gonna go. I
Adam-
can't act like I know.
all I know is that
Right.
Adam Driver's he's mostly known for that show Girls.
Yeah, which
I feel
find.
is he the guy that plays like the douchebag best friend in every movie he's in after this point?
I guess. I
And
guess.
I feel like I recognize him from like I know was he in that What If movie with Daniel Radcliffe that came out like a year or two ago?
I don't know.
I have to look that up, but because he looked
no
familiar.
idea
But I was
about
like, I just know he sounds like Javier Bardem, and that kind of distracted me a little bit. And he does. Listen to his voice like he's not wearing the helmet. He sounds like a younger
He
version
does.
of Javier
He
Bardem.
does. Bardem is good though.
Oh,
Yes.
love Bardem. Bardem's amazing.
So in terms of the other characters, freaking loved Finn.
Finn's great.
Finn is awesome.
Because like I said, I've been a huge fan. I was a fan of John Boyega since I saw him in the movie Attack the Block, which is a British.
I've heard of it. I gotta go back and watch it.
I actually have it, so I can show it to you
Please
guys.
let me borrow it. Actually.
It is so fun.
Awesome.
It's basically it's British gangsters against aliens.
That sounds kick
I'm
ass.
down.
I gotta go watch that.
We need to make
And
it.
I don't mean like mafioso gangsters. I mean like inner city gangsters.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, no, like the gangs of
I was just gonna bring that up.
Yeah.
are like they're like hardcore street gangs. They're almost akin to like gangs of New York back in the
I was
day.
gonna bring up Gangs in New York because I was
Yeah.
like, I would love it if the priest Liam Neeson came up and just beat some alien ass with a giant ass fucking cross.
He's like
Praise the
"This
Lord,
thing has
motherfucker."
blood on it.
But yeah,
Bill the Butcher on the other end. It's lots of kills.
Daisy was great too. Like they did a good job with her arc of like trying to the whole Exception Destiny thing.
Wait.
Right.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Except-
Well, yeah, and the Finn Ray romance.
No, like they got
Blossom.
chemistry.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got
Yeah,
chemistry.
Like it's kind of.
They have amazing chemistry.
Yeah, they have great chemistry.
Like even like B8's, just the way he worked with all the
Yeah.
other guys.
Oh,
it's a
thumbs
fucking,
up!
it's a fucking,
Like,
I love BB-8.
it's a fucking ball, and they made it charismatic.
Yeah.
And funny and
Yeah.
sweet.
Yeah. So
Well, although I will say the puppeteers kind of took it overboard. They were trying to do the R2D2 thing. There was a few moments there where he over emoted. Do you know what I mean?
I liked the thumbs up that he
like there's
he did.
I'll get into the finer points of this, but and it's only because I'm nitpicking. So
You
so
are.
you know so when he finds out Poe Dameron's dead, he's all
oh.
and then runs away. You know what I'm saying? A more subtle one and a move would have been better.
I think
You know,
that is
but
insane.
they're trying to.
You're on.
Hey, but
Yeah.
I'm an acting teacher. I'm a professional actor. Okay. I nitpick these things because I have an affinity and love for these things.
Okay, calculon.
Okay. the last play I did in Hollywood on the Sunset Strip was down the street from Jim Henson's workshop. Okay.
God damn.
And I have a fondness and love for all things puppetry.
Whatever will I do with all this acting time?
I'm just saying. I'm saying.
It's time for a dramatic
There's times where
Pause!
there's times where
pause. Okay, I'm done.
there's times where they need. They wanted to make him emote. They make him lovable. They make him sympathetic. But there's times where the puppetry kind of goes.
No, I see what you're saying. I just love the fact that it was actual puppetry.
Yes.
Yes.
Me too.
Yeah.
And but that's the only reason why I'm talking about it. If I didn't care, I wouldn't mention it. You know what I'm saying?
I see what you're
So,
saying. I mean, granted, it's a nitpick.
It's a very nitpicky thing. It's very, but I'm known for my detail.
No, like the new characters are great. They have good chemistry with them, and it feels like the journey is in safe hands.
Yes.
With these
Yes.
characters, and that's the
Yes.
important part.
Yeah.
Because you did not get that fucking vibe with Annie, that fucking little brat from episode 1.
Well, Jake Lloyd had better craft than Hayden Christensen.
I feel
did.
so bad for Jake Lloyd.
I feel bad for Jake Lloyd.
Jake Lloyd is. Jake Lloyd's had it rough, man.
Yeah, man. You know, and he was a better actor than Hayden.
Was.
Yeah.
You know.
Even especially when you find out Leonardo DiCaprio auditioned for that role.
Exactly. What the
We
fuck?
could have had DiCaprio!
Thing is, it would have been a different film though.
Lucas, you dumb son of a bitch!
I think it would have thrown the whole thing out of balance though.
Yeah.
I don't know, but
Like, Leo's
just
a-
not Hayden.
Yeah, it
Like,
would have.
Leo's a good actor, but like
it
he's
would've
kind of
fallen
got
to the
that.
good
He's
side
got
of
like
things.
George Clooney syndrome, where if you see him in a movie, you don't see the character he is, you just see Leo.
It's just him.
yeah, like
That still would have been better than dealing with Christensen.
that would have been a better deal than Christensen.
I have a theory about Christensen. I think that he was a young, promising actor at the time, but there's one thing that was his downfall. He did not work his voice.
No.
His voice
Yeah.
was the least appealing thing about him. And
Yeah.
every time he delivered a line, it just
That
felt
was
flat.
He had the
It's
look.
terrible.
of it.
I mean, too.
He had the look. His fighting prowess was great. He did most of his own stunts. He was an excellent fighter,
Plus-
but his voice killed it, man.
Yeah.
I mean,
His
in
voice
the
really
I'm gonna be the Jedi removal.
Yeah,
admittedly-
yeah.
We're not.
I mean, like, just really quick though. It's like, to be fair though, nobody could have done those fucking lines.
It's true.
Right?
Yeah.
Even
That's another factor.
Absolutely
Is,
awful
you know,
lines.
You're right.
Yeah,
if an actor has a
But
shitty
there-
script, you're
but-
gonna get a shitty performance.
But there were
like,
actors all around him that were kind of pulling it off. So
Ewan
he didn't have an
McGregor.
excuse.
I liked Ewan
Ewan
McGregor.
McGregor delivered his lines the best he could,
Yeah.
and they were at least passable from the worst parts.
I mean, these are some
You know what
actors
I mean?
out there that
So-
can take shitty dialogue and make it entertaining just because they know it's shitty dialogue and
Yeah.
have fun
Right.
with it. A. Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
And like
Well,
Gary
shit.
Oldman.
Yeah,
man.
well, Gary Oldman, I don't know it's him till the end. What the fuck?
Yeah.
You know,
Gary
that
Oldman,
motherfucker's
where was he?
a chameleon. You know?
He is.
Like Gary Oldman, I love like.
He plays Commissioner Gordon in Batman. He plays,
shit,
you know,
yeah.
dude, they put a hairpiece and some makeup on it. I don't know who the fuck he is.
Gary Oldman's one of those actors.
Gary
Like,
Oldman, though. Gary Oldman's good. Like,
He's amazing.
He knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
Gary Oldman's one of those actors. Like when he's in a good movie, he's great. When he's in a bad movie, he's better.
Oh, you've got to see him read R. Kelly's
I
autobiography.
have seen that.
Oh, it is gold. I will show that to you later.
I actually.
Okay.
I feel like this is on
Actually-
YouTube
All
somewhere.
right. That's good. Yes, Sarah, go ahead.
Actually
Go for it.
heard once that because he got so many different dialects and accents down, he had to see a vocal coach to get his own voice back.
Wow! That's actually
Yeah.
That's actually
Yeah.
pretty common for a lot of actors.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Karen Gillian, for example, she has to have a voice coach so she can keep her Scottish accent.
Yeah.
Right.
And supposedly, same thing with supposedly the same thing with Schwarzenegger. He said he actually can speak in American like a proper accent.
I believe it.
But
I think I've heard him do Texan once, and I was like, what
Yeah.
the fuck?
He's a much better actor than people give him credit
Oh,
for.
Maggie was
Yeah.
great. Like,
He's
I
good.
still say like we just go watch Maggie. I don't know why that.
You know, but one thing I wanted to add for Finn, I would be remiss if I didn't say this, and I'm the resident expert in this area.
Yes.
The implications of having a character of African descent in Star Wars carry the film the way Finn does is astronomical.
Yeah.
And that's why I take so much issue with the two extremes that are going on right now. There's a contingency of people that are saying, oh, well, Star Wars is racist. And then there's another one saying that, oh, you know, Star Wars shouldn't have black people in it. And,
Which is a
and-
racist statement.
Yeah, on
Yeah.
both sides. And my thing is, there is truth to be heard in both of these paths, but it meets in the middle. Star Wars was created in the 70s when just about everything was uninclusive for African Americans in the United States. It was a product of its time. As it moved on, it became tons more inclusive, and we're at this point right now, and it is creating opportunities for black actors everywhere, whether they be British, whether they be American, whether they be from foreign countries. This is an amazing progressive step in the right direction. I applaud J.J. Abrams for that. I
Yes.
think it needs to be said, and there I said it.
I will say this probably was actually the most racially diverse Star Wars.
Yes.
So we got
Easily.
Yes, and I'm glad that they did it in a way that is just good. The guy is good. That's
Yes.
why he got the part. He's just good.
Yeah.
You know, he's meant to be there.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm so happy.
Yeah.
I'm so happy.
So, on that topic, I'm gonna go a couple of my complaints that I had.
Go for it.
One was a lot of these side characters, like that, that they hyped up so much.
Yeah, like Captain Plasma or like
I was like,
and I was
that's
like,
it?
yeah, like,
Well, she's coming back.
yeah,
I know, but
I feel like
she's coming
she
back.
better be fucking
She's
back.
gonna be fucking with Finn this
Oh,
whole time.
man.
I was just like, but still, it's just like,
she's coming back.
you built her up that much, and the same way they built up Luke.
The same way they built up Boba Fett.
Yeah.
Boba
Yeah.
Fett was nothing.
Boba.
Yeah, at least Boba Fett had the one good thing
He
in the
just
crappy
looked
holiday
cool.
special.
You know what I mean? She
Boba's
looks
just-
cool.
Yeah, she looks awesome.
You know?
Oh, yeah.
It's a cool suit.
Kick ass suit.
It's cooler than Kylo Ren's.
It's like,
She's cooler than Kylo Ren
Oh, yeah.
in general.
And she does less.
Why did she just Sith
That's
Lord?
the problem. That's what I'm saying. How come everybody next to Kylo Ren looks more awesome because he's there?
I know, I still can't take General Ginger seriously.
I can.
General Ginger, that's his nickname from now on.
General
I was
Ginger.
like, I was
Yeah,
fine.
I can because little whiny boy is in his room using his fucking flashlight to write his name and shit. Okay. I don't understand this. I am not clowning Adam Driver, okay? I am clowning Kylo Ren. Kylo Ren, I'm 6'0", 308 pounds. I could beat you in a lightsaber.
Oh, shit, he's calling.
I can take Kylo Ren. All right.
I think he made us kill Michael.
I can take Kylo Ren.
You see?
You gotta
He's
do-
killed more people than Kylo Ren too.
See, I'm way more intimidating.
The power of the Force. Laughter.
This was somehow Wes's plan, I just know it.
I can fucking take Kylo Ren in the fight. That's a problem.
Just do the Iron Man thing where you put your address up and then he flies by and shit.
But yeah, next issue. Rey I liked her a lot,
Yeah.
but why was she suddenly a badass with a Force out of nowhere? With like,
These are things that happen in Star Wars.
yeah.
Yeah.
All right, hold on. Let Mike catch his breath.
Well, I mean, like,
I'm sorry.
you want some
Yeah.
water?
I was
or
like,
something?
okay, the Force, the Jedi mind trick thing, I was like, okay, I can work with that.
Right.
But the fact that she suddenly became a kick-ass fighter with a lightsaber.
Well, she was a good fighter with the staff already.
yeah, but
Right?
it's like,
And that doesn't completely cross the bridge. You're
Yeah.
right.
yeah, right. No, because that gave some justification, but it's like at the same time, it's like, yeah, it's like I can train you ways of the Force.
Right. It's Popeye shit.
Then
Yeah.
suddenly, it's like you mention the word Force, she gets spinach, then she can suddenly
there
kick
are-
his ass out of nowhere.
But
She
there
was-
are things.
She was told to close her eyes and let it flow through her.
Yeah.
Right.
She kind of did get that boost from Maz.
Yeah. Yes.
Well, yeah, hold up on that though. Another thought on that. So when she touches the lightsaber for the first time,
I'm good.
Yeah.
this is what I believe when she has these premonitions. This is what I believe Qui-Gon is talking about when he says virgins in the Force. You get what I'm saying? Things that have never happened before, but that are right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Powers that are imbued upon you in the moment that you wouldn't normally have. For example, Luke turning off his computer, blowing up the Death Star with no targeting.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? That's pretty ballsy, you know, in itself.
There's
But
There's
so
no training for that.
I think that's akin to what's happening with her.
But in all
Does that make
fairness, there's
sense?
a big difference between having that sense of intuition
Yeah.
and then suddenly turning it into a master that would, like a martial arts master that would make Yip Man blush.
Well,
I don't
mean,
want to say there was much martial arts going on here.
No.
Right.
Yeah,
it
it
seems
wasn't-
more archaic.
Yeah.
It seems like the Jedi
It's like
forms have
just
been
sort of-
lost.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I was
Like,
using that
It
as
was
a
more.
lucid saying that.
It was more of a swashbuckling style than a graceful fencing.
It was
style.
almost like Crusader.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
You know
I
what I
get
mean?
more of that too. Like it's just more just the boy with more power than he knows what to do with,
Yes.
Well,
versus the rookie who's like doesn't know what she's doing really.
And also I noticed that from the prequels to the original trilogy to here, the lightsaber size of the hilt increases. So I think the power to wield it has to be more. and therefore the blades are longer or stronger.
Actually, they did explain.
Maybe,
Well,
you
they
know?
did explain the thing for Kylo's. That was basically an outdated, ancient technology they used.
It looks like some Sith War shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and basically,
Yes, it does.
and like
You know.
so basically, the fact that that thing had so much power that those things on the sides, those were cross guards, those were vents.
Right.
Oh shit, that's badass.
The shit will blow up on him if he
Yeah.
uses it. Okay,
Yeah.
I get it now.
And of course, the one date Ray was using, I was going by the
That's
accent.
Luke's.
that's-
Luke's.
yeah, that was Luke's
Anakin's.
Yeah.
That was
Right.
Anakin's lightsaber.
But I also remember distinctly feeling that way about the fighting in Return of the Jedi as well. It seemed like they were using long ass fucking bastard swords. You know what I'm saying? Where Vader looks much more powerful because he's able to wield that shit and flip it around, and Luke is still having issues fighting him with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And it just seems more strong.
Sorry, like I just got one story that happened while I was seeing the movie. Is the fact that whenever when Ren goes down, or whatever the hell her name is, finds out Ray. Thank you. He finds Luke Scott and Luke's a terrible name. This is a well-known fact. Okay, so she goes down there. She finds a lightsaber. I heard this kid behind me practically hitting somebody. He's like, that's Anakin Skywalker's lightsaber. That's Anakin. That's Anakin. Like kid is losing his fucking shit behind me.
Well, he wasn't wrong.
Good call, kid.
He's not wrong.
Yeah, but that just shows where our interests lie. It's like, I will never view that as Anakin's lightsaber. That is Luke's, goddamn.
Yeah, Luke earned that shit.
Yes.
He paid for it with his hand. It's his. Okay. But also, to her credit, Kylo Ren is a bitch.
Fair enough.
To her credit?
You can just,
Kylo
you
Ren,
can just
whether or not she can fight good or not, it really doesn't matter. The stormtrooper got hits on him. Chewbacca got hits on him. I mean, she can finish him off.
Oh,
He's a bitch.
Don't worry. We have the alien from Indiana Jones 4 is gonna train to be more badass in the next movie.
You mean Darth Plagueis?
Whatever the hell he is. I don't know about this. That's the one thing. It feels like Emperor. It feels like Emperor Light to me. It was
Grand Lord Snoke?
Yeah.
So here's
every time I heard that, I was like, Snoke. Wait,
Yeah.
did he choke on
I
something? Is that
tried
his
before I
name?
left.
no. I got a theory. So
Okay.
Snoke is Plagueis.
Okay, just make
Okay.
sure it wasn't like low on memory.
Okay.
Plagueis is canon.
I cleared it out
because-
last night. Should be fine.
Alright.
Plagueis is canon because he was mentioned in episode 3. So he's the master of Palpatine. Palpatine killed him in his sleep, but there's long talk about him influencing midichlorians to create life. Just maybe, he figured out the secret before he got killed, and the reason why the guy looks so decrepit and mummified is because
He's old as shit.
he's old as shit.
Or
Could
this
be-
is how they
could be
connect with the
Plagueis.
Indiana Jones series.
Well,
this
they've
is how they
already-
bring Harrison Ford back.
Well, they've already connected ET.
That's true. They
So-
did. They did.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, fuck. But so when I run out of shit to
in a galaxy
say,
far, far away.
when I run out of shit to say, I'm just gonna say Kylo Ren's a bitch to the camera. I just say that Kylo Ren's a bitch.
That's our equivalent
Let's
of
move on.
over.
You're just gonna get angry comments from people like, this conflicts with my fan fiction.
I'm like,
Where I ship him and Luke.
and my response,
They don't know if they're related.
and my response to
I
that is a
guess
slow
okay,
motion
but-
video of him
Nephew.
getting his ass whooped. It's available.
Just like, you just need a montage of
Yes.
Kylo Ren bitch moments.
Kylo Ren bitch mode. That's what's gonna be the name. Alright?
Now that I think about it, this review probably has been going on for a long time. Holy hell, it's almost 7.
Yeah, we should probably.
Wrap things up.
Our
But-
Creed review is an hour and 50 minutes long. Relax.
Yeah. But it's good minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
It's good
Yeah.
minutes.
Oh, yeah.
God, I love Creed.
You want to have an extended conversation about it? I loved it too.
Yeah, I'll talk with you a little bit about it later.
All right.
Watch Attack the Block.
My final thought on Star Wars was, yes, like any other Star Wars film, it has flaws and issues, which we've thoroughly discussed.
Kylo Ren's a
But
bitch.
agreed.
Sorry.
But it's good, it's fun, and I like that it moves the story forward, and I like the new characters, and I love their on-screen chemistry.
I agree. And even for the villains, the ones that I don't dislike, Kylo Ren's a bitch. There is still room to move around in that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He can come back better.
Yeah.
I fully see that
He
happening.
will complete his training.
Yeah. I fully see him coming back better. I I see that maybe this conflict will intensify.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Maybe Ray will
That
take a
nasty
loss
face
next time.
scar will make him. That
Yeah,
face
maybe
scar's gonna
that'll toughen him up.
Yeah.
Maybe every time
And
he
give
has
him
to
a
look at the
goddamn haircut.
Yeah, if he doesn't like his father so much, why is he fucking dressing and acting like him? You know what I'm saying? Got his fucking haircut.
And could somebody
You know.
teach him not to whack his lightsaber around destroying his room?
To be fair, all teenagers have that problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Destructive weapons.
Yeah, it's like,
I think we're talking about different lightsabers.
it's like he's fucking,
There's-
yeah, he's whacking it. He's like masturbating with the lightsaber.
Take this
All
computer.
over the place.
It's all over the walls!
Oh man, my computer will never be the same.
You know, the seriously.
We're going back to the corner.
That's okay.
Ghost!
But in case you skipped all the way through this video to the end, Kylo Ren's a bitch.
And Star Wars: The Force Awakens is worth
It's
seeing.
kick
It
ass.
is so worth seeing.
Yes,
it is.
definitely.
It's worth seeing.
I mean,
and there's
like-
more to come. I hope.
There it is.
Okay, I'll let everyone else go first and I'll finish off. So,
Go for
Matt, you want to go?
What?
Closing
Bye-bye.
thought.
Oh shit! Right. Oh man, yeah. Star Wars. Dude.
Very intellectual, Grant.
See what Kylo Ren does to you.
Force Awakens is pretty much what I feel like is the movie that should have happened. Like, it's the movie that everyone was expecting in 1999. Like, I feel like it's finally come to that point where we're really effing excited for the next Star Wars movie.
Yes.
And I'm so goddamn pumped. Even if-
For all the right reasons.
Yes.
For all the right reasons.
Much.
Yes.
It's like, as I said, even though, you know, with its issues, like I said, some of the characters, the new ones, they're just kind of throwaways. Well, they might as well have been. I mean, they weren't quite that.
Well,
and
maybe there'll be more.
Yeah,
We never know.
Yeah, hopefully.
You know?
Some things that could have been implemented more smoothly. It was a fun ride. It was a great blast of nostalgia. Respectful, maybe a bit too much at times. Because it could arguably been like the greatest fan movie ever.
Yeah, I got the fan film vibe from it too. Did you?
Yeah.
Did you? Like J.J. Abrams just got $1 million and made a fan film, dude.
Yeah.
Like, for real.
Yeah, no complaints though, because like I said, it was a good movie and I enjoyed it.
Like I said, it's full of fan service, which I didn't mind.
Yeah.
I agree.
Like, really, like, what was it? When I was seeing it in theaters, like, probably one of the most fun parts of it was just, like, whenever, like, they would see, like, when the Millennium Falcon showed up on stage, when Han was just sort of admiring the pilot seat, and everyone was just like, yes, yes. I don't know why. I really like those moments, even if
I
was
love
like,
those moments.
Oh, yeah.
Even in episode 1 where they call out R2-D2's name, the theater I was in, everybody lost their shit. I live for those moments.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? I
I
love
was like, yeah, see it in theaters if you can,
You know?
please.
Yes, definitely see it in theaters.
Go see it.
I got to my theater early, and the theater I saw it in is in a really small town. And before it started, there were these kids playing with their toy lightsabers in front of the screen. So
Like, I actually saw like
Good
I
times.
saw like a meme earlier, like yesterday, where it says parenting after Star Wars, and and you got some guy goes like, "Hey, Jason, clean your room," and he's in the dark. He's and the lightsaber turns on, and the dad goes,
Anything else, Dad?
"Don't make me laugh." All right.
Come closer, Dad.
No, then the dad just goes, "Okay, let's do this," and he turns around and fights again.
That's funny.
I was excited because I was also able to see the IMAX 3D, the
Oh,
real
yes.
one, not that fake one that tends to be around here.
I gotta go see it in IMAX. I think
Yeah.
that'll complete the trifecta.
It was mostly filmed in 35mm though, so like it doesn't
I saw
get that full
that's
effect.
why it looks more like the originals,
It
which
was shot
I
in Kodak.
appreciated.
Yeah.
I'm trying to
But when they do the IMAX, it looks great.
Yes.
awesome.
And even for converted 3D, it looks pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, for sure. The 3D, I was so surprised because
Yeah.
they give you. Right now, they're doing this weird thing with 3D, and I guess they've started it since the craze came back.
Yeah.
But the 3D is going inwards; it's not coming outwards anymore. And I was just so
Like,
mad.
there's more depth.
Yeah,
to
it's
it.
more depth, which is cool for a while.
Yeah.
But
Eventually your eyes just
3D
kind of
Star Wars
adjust,
took it
it's
back.
fine.
They brought it back out, and I was so happy. You know,
So,
a difference in style, I guess.
so
Closing thought?
Ron,
Closing thought. Something that we didn't touch on. I'm gonna put that at the top of my thought.
okay.
This film, for better or for worse, sets a new precedent for Star Wars movies. The pacing has been completely changed. The old 70s style of lingering film shots no longer happens. They get right to the point. They're very frivolous with their wipes and transitions.
Yeah.
You know, I noticed that. So, like I said, that may not even be a good thing, but it's different. It's for better or for worse. It has changed the way Star Wars will be seen now, and I think it coincides with the temperament and the attention span of the average movie watcher these days. I think we're used to watching TV where we can see the next episode, and we can keep seeing it, and we keep seeing it. So the fact that it cuts, it sets a new precedent. It sets a new precedent with the integration of CGI and practical effects again.
On that note, keep an eye out for daily videos on our channel. So continue.
Okay, but yeah, so it just sets new precedents all over the place. Some we'll have to wait to see if they're good. Some are really good. Some need to be worked out because they need work. But for the most part, it gave me everything I asked for except for the villain to hate. The
Well, you do hate him.
I didn't get. I don't hate him. I care. That's why I'm criticizing. Okay, I don't hate him. I want him to be a good villain.
I don't hate
I
you,
want the
son.
film-
I just wish you made different choices.
Yeah, seriously, he's a bitch. Kylo Ren's a bitch. But
Kylo Ren's a bitch.
but that doesn't mean I want him to be.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I want a worthy adversary for my heroes because I like my heroes so much.
Yeah.
You know, so there's that. But yeah, it gave me everything I wanted except the villain to hate. I'm confident that they will fix that. All of my treasured Star Wars canon appearances were there. I can't wait to see what happens with Luke. That's my dude.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm a person who came into the trilogy. The first movie I saw was Return of the Jedi.
Me too.
So I saw him at his prime in the beginning, and he's been my favorite ever since. You know, so yeah, I can't wait to see what happens. I can't wait to see how they integrate the one-off films. And I'm looking forward to. I made a mistake not auditioning for this because I got the casting call for this shit, and I'm pissed.
Motherfucker.
I couldn't go to London. I couldn't go to London.
Okay, that's a fair reason.
I couldn't go to London, but I should have made it happen. Like, I should have made it happen. But I'm kind of glad I waited to see anyway because it's completely different.
Yeah.
I would have went in there with a mindset that would have been not right.
Yeah.
You know, so whatever role I got probably would have been very small. But, you know.
Who cares? It's new Star Wars.
You know?
Oh wait, I said the same thing about the short
but I'm happy. But I'm happy. I am happy.
Alright. Grant, I may need your help with something.
Yes.
I'm gonna be Carmen, you're gonna be Kyle.
Are you gonna be who?
I'm gonna be Carmen, you're gonna be Kyle.
Oh.
Well,
Yeah.
Carmen!
well,
I'm warning you!
well,
Hey! Yeah, I told you wouldn't do it.
well, Connor's the bitch, he's the biggest bitch, he's the biggest bitch in the whole wide world. Kylo's a bitch, he's the biggest fucking bitch.
I'm telling you, Kylo Ren, he's a big fat fucking bitch. Kylo Ren.
That's my favorite part of the whole song. Just that big finish.
Yes.
Teardrop. Shia LaBeouf.
That was for you, buddy.
Thank you for watching.
I didn't get my closing thought. Hold on.
Sorry, I thought that was it.
No, I have more to say than just stupid jokes. I know some people have a hard time believing that, but it does happen from time to time.
I believe in Michael.
Thank you, Rob.
Finish.
Somebody believes in me. Unlike my family. Anyway, sorry.
Kylo Ren's a bitch.
Anywho, no, like I said, I think this was a safe journey. I think like the people who made this movie knew what worked in the original Star Wars, and they knew how to make it work here. Well, none of it's perfect. It's not one called great. I wouldn't call it the best one, even by not even close to the best Star Wars movie. I would still say it's a very entertaining. It gets Star Wars right. It gets Star Wars back on the right track.
Yes.
And it introduces with likable characters that I'm invested in, and I want to see where the story's going. We've done the retread, we've done like everything the other movies have done. Now we have room to do new things with it, and that's where I'm curious to see where it's going. I hope. Well, because we've basically redone the original 3 movies already with this one movie. So like, now we have an opportunity to do new things, and to do better things.
And I think that was on purpose too. I think they had to try to give people the original trilogy finally the thing they wanted before they could move on.
Yeah, and I think though, I think someone pointed out, like, the only thing left is the training, pretty much. It's going to happen in the second movie, but I think they have much more room to do whatever the hell they want.
And then after that, we don't know what's going to happen. And that's a beautiful thing.
So, like, that's
a beautiful thing.
Oh, that reminds you know.
let me finish. Before you get into that, let me finish. Just so we can get this over with, because we've been doing this for like an hour. Alright, so, I found out it's basically, like, the seeds are there, and the seeds are very good, but it hasn't reached greatness yet. I think the seeds grow and get something truly excellent in the next movie, if it's done right. Now, go ahead.
On that topic, considering all the cracks we made at Jurassic World, you did hear the director of that's doing 9, right?
Wait, which one?
Episode 9.
The director of Jurassic World is directing episode 9.
Well, that's the third one. No one gives a shit. Wait,
Oh, man.
But for episode 8, we got the guy who did Looper.
I kind of like the premise of that movie. I like
Oh, that was a
another
great
80 Christmas
Looper,
movie.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Looper. I thought you said
Well,
Leaper.
No, that's a jumper.
Jumper.
Well,
Right.
Jumper I kind of liked too. I mean, it seemed a much more appropriate role for Hayden than Star Wars.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Alright, so, I mean, like,
What trailers did you guys get?
I got pretty much all the ones we talked about last week.
What
Actually,
now?
I got Batman vs Superman, Captain America 3.
Yeah, I got that.
Yeah, we got all those. We got all those too.
You guys did Star Trek?
I got the Star Trek, yeah.
Oh, funny.
It's like, now I know why people were pissed off about that trailer.
Funny story I want to tell though about the second time I watched it. I watched it last night at the Cinelux, where we saw Equalizer.
Oh, nice.
And
That's actually where I saw Star Wars.
yeah,
too.
Home Alone with guns
Yeah.
in Home Depot.
That was
Awesome.
awesome.
Go watch that review. But a funny story was that we bought the tickets in advance, got on Fandango, went over there, got the tickets, walked in, and the guy who took our tickets told us, he was like, hey, you know, this theater's kind of filling up. You might want to go to the next one that's showing at the same time.
Someone told me to do the exact same thing.
Right. So,
Yeah.
so we went in, right? But then when we went in, it was playing Sisters. Okay, so yeah, so me, my wife, and one of my best friends were sitting there getting ready because we took him because he hadn't seen it yet, and so we're laughing, joking, all these comedic trailers are going by, we're not paying any attention, right?
fuck.
And then all of a sudden we see the Universal logo. I'm like, that's not right.
Something's
That's not
adding
right,
up here.
right? And then Sisters starts to come on, and we're like, we gotta go. We get out. And we go talk to the manager, and we're like, hey, Star Wars isn't playing. Do we get our refunds, or what do we do? And he's like, no, go back and sit in there. It will play. Somebody got fired. Somebody got fired. But we sat back down, and they started the movie, and we watched it all the way through.
God damn.
It's like, you ever see, like, you hear that scene with me, like, you know, someone's to announce they're making a sequel to Groundhog Day, and they just play the original.
That's hilarious. But it can't be from the opening credits. It has to be when he wakes up.
Yeah, exactly.
With I got you, babe. That means shit.
Alright,
So yeah,
alright, I mean, like, I guess we start with the new Star Trek really briefly, because we...
new Star Trek. That's the only one I didn't see, and I'm curious to know what you think about that, Sarah.
Well, I didn't get trailers at my screening because it was like a sold out
I see.
pre-sale event, but I did recently see the trailer for the new Trek movie, and I'll say that it looks better than Into Darkness.
Into
Really?
Darkness
You
was,
didn't like Into Darkness?
I have mixed feelings about
Into
it.
Darkness was basically Wrath of Khan.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, and I think they did that on purpose, no?
Yeah.
From the looks of it, because
must
they
have.
reversed the roles.
I mean, that's when even J.J. Abrams admits he had problems with making.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
And I liked Into Darkness.
Yeah,
I like
it was
I
a
like
good
some
movie.
things
It was
about
good.
it, but I have mixed feelings about
I just,
it.
I just think
good
they,
parts.
Hey, one at a time, guys. One at a time.
Kylo Ren's a bitch.
I enjoyed it, but they botched the ending.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they completely removed all the subtext of Wrath of Khan.
You didn't
and-
like Spock screaming Khan?
Khan!
Yeah, why couldn't we got him to play Kylo Ren? What the fuck? You know? Benedict Cumberbatch, come play Kylo Ren. Somebody, switch it up.
As for the new trailer, it's like, I've heard them all say that that is not indicative of the film. That
Yeah, I've
whoever
heard
edited
that
that
too.
was an idiot.
Wait,
Because
what happened?
Like, the people have been saying, like, that trailer is in no way a reflection of the actual film. Someone, like, some asshole just edited to make it like a big action movie.
yeah, it was like
Oh.
Simon Pegg was with the writer, like one of the writers. He was like,
That is not what
What?
we made.
he was like, what?
He wasn't too happy with the
Makes
trailer.
sense.
Remember that? Yeah.
Oh, before I forget, you guys are talking about Abrams and Bad Robot. Shout out to a good friend of mine, Anawak Valdez, who is a part of the Bad Robot editing team who edited Star Wars: The Force Awakens.
Nice.
That's my boy.
Nice
I
work.
love that guy. And a guy I went to high school with, Ryan Weber, special effects guy. He made this way to do better lightsabers, and he's on the SFX team.
You know, maybe if you smooch up the right people, you can be added to the special edition. You can be in the background like John Travolta,
No. If I get into the Star Wars movies, I would want to play a character that you don't see for a while, but has a very strong story, and I would just merchandise the fuck out of that. I'd be so happy. Give me my own trading card, put me in the video game for 5 seconds. You know, all that. I would love that.
like Prune Face.
The longevity of it. I'd like people to collect me. You know what I mean?
That's what
That's
he
the
said.
acting dream.
And thanks to your local sperm bank, you now Unless you're wrong today.
Hold on a second.
Please.
Hold on a second. You didn't get the droid? Anything else?
You just need a little imagination. Only Grant gets that joke.
But yeah, shout out there. I would be remiss without mentioning those people. They did a great job.
Alright, so I think we've talked on long enough. We all gotta go back to our respective lives. So we'll probably wrap it up here. And we got.
In some cases, non-lives, but.
Well, you and me will be back tomorrow
Yeah,
and with Patrick, and we're
Right.
we're gonna go see the other big epic that came out this week. Alvin and the Chipmunks 4, the Road
Road
Trip.
Chip!
Wait, I thought that was the
Get
third.
it? It's Road
It's fourth.
Chip.
No, the third
As
one
opposed
was
to Road Trip.
the third one was called Chipwrecked. The fourth one is called the Road
What was
Chip.
the second one?
I'm calling
That's
it Jason
prequel.
Lee waiting to die.
Yeah.
Wow, seriously.
Just like, just in the trailer alone, Jason Lee just looks so upset, I swear. Just like,
He always is that way though.
yeah.
That's like his acting charge. You know, like Jason Lee always.
So you gotta rest up for that.
I do.
Yeah.
Apparently, I'm just coughing a fit this whole fucking review, so
Yeah.
I gotta rest my voice too. So, see you guys later.
And Kylo Ren's a bitch.
And may the force be with you.
And also with you. God damn it.
And Kylo Ren's a bitch.